Welcome to this episode of the Keto Vegan. I am Rachel. I am your host. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about self-love. A couple of episodes ago, I said about how to kickstart and how to start your keto vegan diet and this way of life. Last episode, I talked about emotional eating and shared some things there. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about self-love. We are our harshest judges, aren't we? If we don't love ourselves, we have nothing else to give to other people. We try, but we're flawed. When we focus on ourselves and loving ourselves, then we are whole, we are aware of who we are. Our self-esteem and our value and our worth are solid and secure. And when external stuff from the outside world comes in and might have shaken us in the past, we are actually pretty grounded. And the external stuff doesn't matter nearly as much. How do we love ourselves then? If you were really lucky, blessed, came from a secure attachment from parents that gave you really good boundaries, but were boundaries that weren't really tight, but were out here and gave you choice and autonomy in between. Not way out here where you had no boundaries and didn't actually know where you were. But if you are securely attached as an adult, it means that your foundations are great and your worth and your value is probably pretty strong. But many people, many of us are from insecure attachments that we might be avoidant, we might be anxious. There will be other things that get in the way. And what happens when we are growing up, we take on other people's stuff. We take on other people's anxieties and dislikes and disbeliefs and worries and concerns and fears. And we see that happening all around us and we take it on ourselves. Our brain is really complex. And what I'm going to focus on a lot in this episode is our left limbic brain, the emotional brain, the reptilian brain, or whatever you refer to it as. This part of our brain is aware of the past and things that's happened in the past to us and can project into the future. But this part of the brain is also unconscious and it is making us do things without us knowing why we're doing them. It's responding to the fears that it's picked up in our pasts. Now we've got a whole lot of other brain. We've got our thinking brain, our logical brain as well. And that's really good. That's really handy. Now, our unconscious mind, she or he, wants to keep us safe. And so it keeps us safe by responding to things from the past and keeping us safe from them now and in the present. So it might be that we have this fear or this dislike or whatever, and we're not sure where it's come from. And we wouldn't be sure of where it's come from because it's all unconscious. But it does mean that we are behaving in certain ways for certain reasons, and we're not sure exactly why. And this can tie in to how we feel about ourselves. If we have fears and doubts and dislikes about what we do and who we are, that all comes from that part of the brain because it's trying to help us, it's trying to keep us safe. Now, that part of the brain can also work in a positive way for us as well, but we have to get into the unconscious to persuade it that this is good for us. This is why, as a hypnotherapist, I really believe in that work, because when you go into trance, hypnotherapeutic trance, we can then talk to the unconscious, but we're not going to do that today. I am going to introduce you to us like a meditation and also a visualization as well, and link you to my therapy YouTube channel where there's a few trances there that you can listen to help you. But basically, how do we get to a place where we can raise our loving vibration? where we can feel better, where we can feel good about who we are and want to do the best for us. Because when we love ourselves, we're not going to judge ourselves nearly as much. And when we love ourselves completely, we're not going to judge ourselves at all. I'm not saying that I'm there, but I know that I'm much more there than I ever have been. It's taken me a while. I'm in my mid 50s. I'm 54. So, it's taken a long time, but I did start late. I didn't really start becoming who I am now until I was in my late 30s. And 40s. It's been a long journey, but it's been interesting, exciting. I've made loads of mistakes, but I'm getting there and I'm keeping progressing. So, how do we love ourselves more? It's about raising our vibration. Now, ideally, we want our vibration to be way up here, but it might be down there. And to get from here to here is a big jump. And so the best way to do it is just to raise it a little bit. And so at any moment in the day, just be aware of how you are feeling. Where are your emotions? What's the vibration that you're at? And when you're aware of that, no matter whether it's a good vibration or not so good, see if you can raise it. Sounds great and easy, doesn't it? So, how do you raise it? I want you to think now of a really positive, happy memory that you've got, something that you have in your mind, in your memory, where you were feeling happy, joyful, peaceful, maybe, or loved. What is that memory like? When you've got time, go into that memory. Close your eyes. If you're listening to this driving, do not close your eyes now, obviously. Don't need to spell that out, surely. But just connect to that emotion. What was happening? Who were you with? Was there a fragrance that you can remember? What were you wearing? Can you remember that? How did it feel? Allow those feelings to rise up and really connect to them. Is there a word that you associate with that? Is it love? Is it confidence? Is it peace? Is it joy? What is that? Feel it. And so when you're feeling a little bit low, remember that. Go back to that memory. If you're struggling finding a memory that raises your vibration, visualize a future that you want. Imagine being abundant with love and friends and joy and wealth and all of those things that you want as abundance in your life. Maybe being on a holiday to your perfect destination. My perfect destination would be a beach holiday, very relaxing, lovely weather, a nice breeze, somebody serving me keto vegan cocktails. Yeah, I know it's going to be a serious lot of visualizing to do there, but raise your vibration. And in every moment of every day, just be aware of your internal guidance system. This is such an easy way to monitor your emotions, to monitor where you're at. What are you feeling? What are you feeling right now? What are you feeling when you wake up? You've probably heard about have a gratitude journal, write three things that you're grateful for in the morning or three things that you're grateful for in the evening. And you might think, oh God. And I had a client once that thought that I'm not doing that. And yet she was given a journal, an empty book journal by a friend of hers, and just the timing was perfect. And when all that happened, she's like, what can I use that for, Rach? And I'm like, well, how about just appreciation? And she started using it. And I mean, her life is now incredible and amazing. Transformation happened with her. She's just ready at the right time. And it's so lovely to see this absolute, she bloomed. It was so lovely. And she started to really love herself. She did think that she would be happy when certain things would happen to her. But what she found was that this center being of herself, she didn't need all that external stuff after a while. She just felt so good because she started feeling much more confident in herself. She felt appreciation for what she had. She would wake up in the morning and just be appreciative of the bed. Thank you, bed, for my sleep. Very comfortable. Be grateful, have appreciation. And maybe in the mornings as well, set an intention. I intend today to raise my vibration. I intend today to know that I am enough. I intend today to love myself just a little bit more. I intend today to remember those things that I've achieved, to remember those things that I've overcome, and to see my growth and my progress so far in my life. If any of these things resonate with you, pick that one thing and start doing it. There's this movement, the I am enough movement. Do that as well. Write it in big words over your mirror. So when you get up in the morning, you see that I am enough. Say it through the day, especially when you're faced with challenges, or especially when you're faced with food urges and food cravings. Do the stopping and setting your timer and feeling those emotions, like I explained in the last episode. Start doing these things, and you will start noticing that your life starts to change. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? Because what we are, what we say, what we give out to others is a direct mirror of what is inside us, inside our mind, inside our thoughts. And it's the same the other way around as well. If there is somebody who is fuming at you, angry at you, nasty to you, that is nothing to do with you, nothing to do with you. It is all about them. They are hurting. They are a wounded child or teenager or younger adult. We take all that stuff with us. Our unconscious mind, our left unconscious mind, is the one that holds on to all of that and finds it very difficult to let go. And it creates, it's this basic life statements that we have about ourselves, and they are changeable. Our unconscious mind can change. We can go into that and pull that out using hypnotherapy. I know I go on about that a lot, but the reverse is also true. When we get angry at people, when we say things that are hurtful to others, especially those that are closest to us, that's normally who we project all the shit to, isn't it? That is nothing to do with them. That is all about you. When was the last time that you were irritated by somebody? When you were pissed off, when you were angry at somebody, or when you were silently resentful? That's nothing to do with them. It's your pain, it's your wounded self that needs the healing. Reflect on that, think about it, speak to somebody about it who is therapeutic in nature, who's empathic in nature, who's not going to judge you, who's going to allow you to express yourself. If you've got somebody like that in your life, then you are blessed. Make the most of having that soul in your life, because they are there to help you come out as the best version of yourself. Because that is what life is about, isn't it? Our life is this beautiful path, this beautiful journey with obstacles in the way. If our life didn't have those obstacles, we would never learn anything about ourselves. We wouldn't become a better version of who we are. And make the intention, another intention, to become better today than you were yesterday. What is there that you can learn about yourself? Also, with the unconscious, if a memory just comes up out of nowhere, that could well be your unconscious mind letting you know that it is ready for you to deal with that and let go of it. I do not suggest digging back into the past. Our brains are quite incredible, but they also don't know the difference between imagination and reality. So, this is why visualizing can be so incredibly powerful. If we visualize our future life with the abundance in it, our brain thinks that is reality. Our brains and our bodies are also vibrational. You know, you can go into a room, somebody's had a massive argument, and you can just feel the tension, but you didn't hear the argument. You didn't see the argument. You weren't aware that it happened, but you know when you just walk into a room and the tension is like, oh God, I want to get out of here. Why is that? Because we are vibrational. And the same is true when there's joy in a room. You can feel that. When there are happy people that you hang around with, you feel better. When there are miserable people that you spend time with, you pick up that misery and the moans. Stay out of those vibrations, get into vibrations that are high vibes, that are positive, that are love, that are joy, that are peaceful. It's up to you. You decide who you hang out with. You decide your vibration. Don't project it onto anybody else. Don't blame others for how you feel. You are entirely responsible for your feelings, for your vibration, for your emotions. And that sounds like, okay, I'm responsible, I can change. This is the thing, the unconscious mind doesn't like change. He or she wants to hang on to what it is familiar with. It is like a person who is being domestically abused, not being able to leave the abuser because they are so used to that. Change is terrifying. And this makes it make sense. This is why people find it so difficult to leave because it is terrifying to leave. Our unconscious mind finds change terrifying, like a little child would, because our unconscious mind doesn't mature. It is not logical. It is not an intellect. It just goes with instinct and what it knows as familiar, because no matter how terrible the familiarity is, it is safe because it knows it. So by staying the way that we have been, our unconscious mind, it's comfortable there. But we want to change. So when a memory does come up, just think, okay, what's that about? It might give you some insight. It might just give you information or knowledge to help you understand. But I strongly urge don't go digging there, as I've said, because that will mean that you are reliving what happened and strengthening those neural pathways. And you don't want that to happen. You want to break those neural pathways. You want to break the neural pathways that have caused these habits of self-doubt, self-hate, judgment. You want to break those. You want to build new pathways of acceptance, of love, of self-forgiveness. The difficult person, the hardest person sometimes to forgive is the self when we've messed up, isn't it? But we want to build those beautiful new neural pathways that build and increase our self-acceptance and our self-love. The more we love ourselves, the more we are connected to all that is, to others, to Mother Earth, to Creator or God or universe, whatever your name is for that being, that all that is, that power, that love, that acceptance. So there is one absolute law and only one, and that is love. Everything else is thought. And we don't experience life. We experience our thinking about life. I'm going to say that again because it took me a while to get my head around this. we go through the day and we're experiencing this and we're experiencing that, and we're at work and we're at home and we watch something on TV and all of this, and we feel and we have emotions and we experience all of it and we think we're experiencing it, but we're not. We're experiencing our thoughts about it, our thinking about it. And where does that all come from? It comes from our unconscious mind. So our unconscious mind is determining our life experience. This is why it's so important to get a grip of our unconscious mind, to get a hold of it, to get it working with us and for us for the life that we want to live. So, I want to share with you a protective shield visualization. There's the link underneath. There's an introduction to it as well. So basically, don't listen with your eyes closed, when you're driving, for example. But the nice thing about this visualization is you don't have to be in trance for it to work. It's visualizing a protection, this protective shield around you that also brings cleansing and healing to you. There's also a meditation that I want you to listen to. It's a metta bhavana, which is the Buddhist word for loving kindness. Meditation is very, very simple. And basically, it's pretty short, and it's saying four positive statements for yourself. And then I ask you to think about somebody you love and then direct those positive statements to them. And then, if you are strong enough or willing enough to think of somebody, visualize somebody who is causing you hurt and pain and upset, and you project those loving statements to them as well. So the statements are from memory: may you be happy, or may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be free from inner and outer harm, and may I live my life joyfully. And it's this free from inner and outer harm that is so important. Our inner harm, those statements that we say to ourselves that cause this doubt, this disappointment, this shame, all those feelings when we mess up. And I know that when I would succumb to my food urges and binge, the feelings that I would have the following day would be shame, disappointment, self-hatred, disgust. How can I love myself when I've failed yet again? But this is the thing. When we love ourselves, we are more likely to do those things that will help us not succumb to the things that make us feel so horrible. And we're much more likely to self-forgive much quicker. So we've got the visualization. That is the protective shield. You'll find this really helpful, especially if you're in an environment that you can't get out of, maybe a work environment or a family environment where there are people in there that make your life tricky or make you feel and think that this is hard. And that will help protect you, protect that self of you to keep you strong. And then there's the loving kindness meditation. Don't do that driving, do that relaxed, eyes closed. What you will find on my therapy, my Rachel Gin YouTube channel, are quite a number of visualizations as well. Feel free to listen to those if you want to. You don't have to. But I really do urge you to do the protective shield and the loving kindness. There is one on there for food, I think, from memory, but do have a look through. If you haven't listened to my episode last time, my previous episode, then do listen to that because that's really good for helping with emotional eating. Please feel free to leave a comment. What did you find helpful about this? Is there anything that you want me to go into in more detail in future episodes? next episode or an episode coming up, I'm going to do an anchoring technique with you. It's an NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming technique that I've learned with some of my training as a hypnotherapist to help you really connect with positive feelings. Anchoring is like basically put your finger and thumb together. And I'm going to talk you through that as well. Hopefully, you'll find that helpful. So that will be coming in the future. It might be next episode. And I'll use some other techniques to help you with that as with growing in your personal strength. I really hope you found this helpful today. I know that if I look back at my life 20 years ago, when I was 34, I was morbidly obese, I was terribly unhappy. I was basically surviving, didn't know who I was. I had no voice. Well, obviously, I had a literal voice, but I didn't know how to speak my truth. I didn't know what my truth was. And just think if I can do this and start finding out so much about myself from my late 30s onwards, it is not too late for you either. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.